Hey everybody, welcome to Scribbles with Jonathan. My name is Jonathan Rector, and you can check out my website and all that good stuff at jonathanrector.com. And today we're just doing a quick recording of a fan art piece, I suppose, of a guy named Deckard Cain, and he's from Diablo. And most of you out there, I'm assuming, if you're an artist, you're probably not playing, or you shouldn't be playing. But if you are playing, he's from Diablo, that whole franchise. And Diablo 3 is out. A lot of people are playing that. And I've been playing it quite a bit. And, I thought I'd do a little bit of fan art. And so I just thought I'd hit recording. The actual drawing won't be finished in this video, but it will be in part 2. Part 1, I just wanted to show you exactly everything I was doing from the beginning to the end. And the first couple sketches you saw there, all I was doing was deciding on the sketch to actually go forward to the end. And this drawing here is one I'm going to end up picking up, mostly because it's simple, it's a sketch, I didn't want to go too crazy. So once I have what I selected there, which one I wanted, I just copied it, made it a little bit bigger, so I had some room to play around with in drawing, and lowered the opacity, made a new sketch layer, and just going in there with some tighter line art. This way when I ink over top of it, everything I need is already in there. And actually I should point out too, in case you haven't noticed, this isn't Photoshop, this is a program called Manga Studio. This is the EX version. That's not really going to matter for what we're doing, but some of you out there might be a little curious as to what I'm using here. And as well, you might be wondering, why am I using this instead of Photoshop? Well, sometimes when I'm doing some sketches for myself, just to, go from one point to the other, I'm finding Manga Studio to have a little bit, different properties to it. It feels much more loose, much more organic when I'm doing these sketches. And as well, if I can get some practice time in with another program, I might make that change. And some of you have heard me talk about it before, about actually switching right to Photo or Manga Studio for all my comic work, as opposed to Photoshop. But so there it is. It's all done. Now I'm just going in there. I think I was using the Maru brush, and just kind of feeling in where everything's going, getting his big saggy pouches on his eyes. And I'm a big fan of doing old wrinkly people or monsters with gnarly skin and stuff, because you can really play around with some of the shapes. Just working on the nose there, and I actually start doing some cross-hatching, and that kind of stuff right there, that hatching, I find in Manga Studio is much more easier to do, and it actually comes out looking crisp and nice. Way more better. Let me try that again. Better than how I would normally do it in Photoshop. The line quality is much more, I don't want to say legit, but it feels better in Manga Studio than it does in Photoshop. And here again, just working on it. I think I do a couple tries right here for the eyeball. Just really wasn't working. As well, a stage that I didn't do here that I probably should have, and I'll just bring it up because some of you guys and girls out there might want to do this. Once I have my line art, and right here I'm actually shading the eye, which is a big no-no. I'm jumping the gun here. I'm trying to render things out. I should really be taking my time before I start slapping in heavy inks and rendering and all that. However, once I'd have my somewhat tight line art, what I would normally do is, or optionally do, is make a new layer and then just get a nice big thick brush and start hammering in where your shadows will go. That way it saves you some time in the long run, and you don't have to worry about spending time doing detail like all of those eyebrows on this far left there. It all ends up getting mostly blacked out by the end of this video here, once I decided at that point of a light source. And as you can see, I'm starting to decide where the light source is because I'm adding more heavy rendering on the left. And right there, I started adding in some beefy blacks, and you can tell I knew myself right away. As soon as I did that, I knew where my light source was going to be. Here I'm just carving out where the shadow cast shadow from his nose would be. And then I'm going to have to carry that all the way up into the eye. And the eye was actually bugging me a little bit, because no matter what I was doing, it was, it wasn't looking good. Right there, I thought it looked okay, but what I end up doing is going over there and I just flood fill that whole eye black. Gives a little bit more of a magical look to him. And those of you that aren't familiar with Deckard Cain, all you really need to know is he's an old wise man. He doesn't really have any magic powers really or anything, but it's cool to have him, kind of act like that. And he's got those really wild eyebrows. And here I'm just messing around with some more of the rendering. A lot of rendering going on in this video. And by the end of this video as well, I have a decent chunk of his face done. In the next video, it'll be about the same length. All I'm going to do is just add the rest of his collar on his clothing, give him some scrolls behind him, and just kind of overall tighten up some of the lighting and stuff. And here, just giving him his little mustache. I think everybody's a fan, especially if you're an artist. Once you start getting comfortable drawing hair, at least for yourself, getting these old, gnarly, wrinkly, bearded men and stuff like that are actually, pretty fun to draw. So as you can see, I just drew his lip there, and I'm just adding a little bit more to this goatee to his beard, and then I just drew right over top of it to give his lip a cast shadow. And here I'm just going over to the side, and really quickly, quickly there, what I was doing was I was trying to draw what I'm doing right now, but it wasn't coming out. So I'm just using the lasso tool, and I'm just going to fill that with black. Get some shapes in there. It just makes it a little bit more easier, and the points, like the line work is a little bit more sharp. And just flipping the image there just so I can see a little bit of how it's going. It is looking a little flat right now. I'll probably go back and I'll erase the top of his head, that line. It looks a little too small. It's kind of, you can see I'm kind of adjusting it right there, and then I realize it's going to be a problem there, so I'm just going to have to go back. And I might, now that I'm looking at the video, I may shrink his eye as well. His eye is kind of standing out, and this looks a little big to me. But feel free to let me know what you guys think in the comments, all that good stuff. And again, just hammering in some heavier blacks there, just dirtying up his hair, give it a little more frizz. And here we're just adding some more heavy rendering around the puff of his, the meat of those sacs under your eyes, you know, as you get older, or you get tired. And just zooming out, see what we got, see what's going on. And I think I end the video here. I just left it open so you guys can see what's going on there without having to do like a screenshot or anything. But thanks so much for watching. You guys can stick around for part 2. Plan on wrapping up some more videos, sending some more videos out to you guys on a more consistent basis. Thank you so much for watching. Keep reading comics, keep making comics. Any comments or questions, please leave a comment, and I'll get back to you. Take care, you guys. Bye.